Well, welcome back to the Real Men of Real Estate, hosted by me, Thomas Chappell, and we're with our special guest, Miss Toya Tillett. Wanted to jump back into the conversation that we was talking about the accounting side because that's near and dear to my heart. So, why don't you elaborate on that real quick?
So, in accounting, I started off by doing accounts payable and receivable for a trucking company. And then I kind of just expanded more into that by going into like Marriott. I worked at Marriott for 4 years where I was able to be a supervisor and do accounts receivables and payable there. And then became a staff accountant with the water company. That was up and coming. And so that's kind of how my accounting career got started. I also worked at Target too, doing some accounting and payroll, things like that. So that's where it was. And then I decided back in 2004, after my tax preparer messed up on my taxes, I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to figure this thing out and do this myself. And so actually, it's in my blood. My aunt, my grandmother started an accounting, income tax, and bookkeeping firm about 80 years ago or so. And then my aunt took that over, of course, when she became an adult. And so it's just, my mom did numbers. I mean, it's just all in our blood. So that's why I think I can't run away from it. So it was only natural for me to go ahead and start a tax business to help more people, because when I fixed my own taxes and I'm like, oh, I got a refund, and I started telling people like, oh, look what I got, and then they're like, oh, can you do mine? And it just kind of went like that, word of mouth. I didn't even advertise for my accounting business for years until I actually didn't start advertising until about 2 years ago. For the tax business, because everything was just word of mouth, and I pretty much built my company that way with some of my leads. I actually brought on some more data entry people and some other tax preparers as well. So, this is a whole operation going on here.
Well, that's good. Now, my part in it, I really got into it because of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Really?
Yes, because
he
had his accountant do everything for him, and they robbed him blind. Mm-hmm. And I said, I would never, ever do that, because I've always wanted to be my own businessman.
Right.
But I had so many different ideals, I didn't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw that Kareem segment, I said, I'm not going to never let that happen. I've seen celebrities get taken because they don't know what's going on. They let somebody else handle their stuff, and then realize that they're being robbed from the blind. So that's what made me want to get into accounting. I fell in love with it because, I said, I'm going to learn how to do my own books. I was working for this guy that had a Chevron gas station. Okay. And he worked for the airline that made all the planes. I don't know which one it was. Probably was Boeing. Mm-hmm. And he had this gas station because he needed to put some money somewhere and let it grow. And he had this guy that was bribing him blind. Wow. And he couldn't understand it. But they became good friends. And the whole point was, it was just crazy how they were doing things. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to let that ever happen to me. You start a business and you don't have to run it, but you start a business and you got to make sure that you know certain things that are going on. So that way you can keep track of what people are not doing, because you're hiring strangers.
Right.
And it's not fun to hire your family members and friends.
Not always. They are not always your best partners when you're going into business. Fortunately, most of mine are cool, so I don't have that issue. We all kind of have the same thought process. We all come from the numbers background. So, like, my sister's a math whiz. My niece is like my lead tax preparer. I call her my Schedule A queen because she can do some things with some Schedule A's. But anyway, it's very important. I think too, as a business owner, I say that as well. And I'm like, my son, he's looking to get into the music industry. And so he's actually getting his degree in arts and entertainment management. And he was a little sad because he wanted a different type of degree that was more musical theater related. And I told him, I said, no, son, get to know the back end of the business so that way when you get in, nobody can take advantage of you. Of course, Mama's not going to let that happen. Exactly. I don't care if he's 60 years old. I'm going to be right there and like, no, what's that? I don't care. But it's very important for, like you said, as business owners, to know certain aspects so that you know when you're getting taken advantage of, because it's very common for accountants to siphon off money, and you see it happen for years. It's happened for many years.
And some of them can put it back without you even knowing that they took it, and they turn around and replaced it and whatnot. So it's important to be that type of person. But what I've learned in being in real estate is that you start a business to sell it. And a lot of people don't get that concept. It's like, why would you start a business and you sell it? Well, because I tell people this is that God has placed a lot in you. And you can't create a new thing if you're still holding on to the old thing.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Exit strategies.
Exactly. So you have to have that exit strategy so you can move on. Something that we do get bored.
Right.
Everything we do is psychological. We do get bored doing the same old routine. You know what I'm saying? We want something challenging. And that's one of the major things that got me to doing what I'm doing now with doing this radio show. This is something different to me.
Right.
You know, some people say I do have the voice for it. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But the point of it is that it's something challenging, and it gives me excitement to look forward to do it every month.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is fun to me. You know, I've been on the Flip Flop Investors radio show so many times that, I became a natural at it.
Okay.
This is the first time I ever do with the commercial side. So I had to learn how to do the commercial side, when to take the commercial breaks and things like that.
Right.
So it's more challenging, it's more fun. And I get a kick out, and I bring guests in that I want to interview that means something, that has some kind of impact in my life. I've been knowing you for, 5-6 years now?
Yeah, about 5-6 years.
You know, and we've been off and on. But, you know, the fact of the matter, because I get on you.
All the time.
I'm like, where you at? When you coming back? What's going on?
Between me and Sharon, you got your hands full.
Exactly. So now I got you committed to speak at the club by the end of this year. So it's those kind of things that I get a kick out of, because I know what you bring to the table, but because you're so busy, you forget where home is. You see what I'm saying? And being as a people, it's like, why are we still doing the one step or the two step?
Right.
Why can't we not launch ourselves out there into the abyss, just like the 19 people that was in Georgia that bought a town? You see what I'm saying? So even though they were black, it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. Why can't we not come together and do that? Why are we going outside the scope instead of staying in our own backyard? You see what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking you for the wonderful things that you're doing in the Dominican Republic or in Mexico. They people out there need that kind of help as well, you know. But the point of it is that we can all do it together.
Yeah, we can do it here.
And not just here, but I'm just saying that's the whole generalization of having a show, bringing this content to the world to where everybody can understand. If you're going to do it, don't look at the money.
Right.
Just do it. Be able to give yourself an opportunity to feel good about helping other people. And that's what this is about, keeping that connection, helping other people and whatnot. So, moving right along, I understand that you're a broker now.
I am. I've actually been a broker since 2017, but I worked as an associate broker under a bigger name brokerage, and then I decided to go out on my own in 2019.
So what made you, or what was tantalizing about you becoming a broker? Why you had to become a broker?
It was more so to have more leverage, more options, more opportunities, and that was one of the main reasons. And then I kind of had no plans of having my own brokerage. I was just like, I have my broker license now. I could do some other stuff, but, I'm going to stay here and be an associate broker. But after a while, when the brokerage started taking away some of the money-making opportunities that I was used to having, I felt like they were literally telling me I couldn't make any money. So I said, if I can't make any money here, then I cannot work here. So I pretty much... I just went out on my own and I said, you know what, I'm just going to focus on doing our investments. And then I got a call from a young lady that my daughter went to dance school with. And so she was like, oh, you remember me from the dance studio? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I have a lady that, just got a real estate license. She's looking for a broker. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am not trying to be anybody's broker. I don't want this responsibility. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll interview her. And I literally told her everything I wasn't. I was like, look, I'm not a big name. I'm not going to be holding your hand. I'm not going to be paying for your marketing. I'm not doing this. I just told her everything I wasn't going to do. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. I want to work with you. And I was like, what? I was trying to scare you off. What you doing? So I said, okay, fine. And then after working with her, and then I was like, I found a new love within real estate. Because like you said, you get bored with certain things. You get tired of showing 50,000 houses and going up and down stairs all day and, dealing with crazy sellers and buyers and, people who are being irrational. And so I fell in love with training and teaching the agents. how to become successful and how to move along in the business and how to learn new aspects of it. And so to date, I actually just brought on a new agent this week who will be doing property management for me. So just brought on my 6th agent. So I was really excited about that. I brought on another agent who's also an international sales agent as well, working on the properties in the DR. So yeah, that's where my heart is now, is just I want to teach more people. And I know you said doing things in our own backyard, but we're creating opportunities over in these other countries for the people here who cannot afford to purchase here and want to get started in investing.
Okay, so here's my question. Where do I sign?
Hey, let me pull up. Hey, you can sign. It's for you. It's not for the people there. It's for us. It's for those of you here.
That's just like one of the things I did with the tiny homes and getting involved in the back porch homes. My main reason I got into back porch homes is because my mother said before she passed away, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Yeah. And Stephen McKee and Ty Bear took me up under their wing, and they did teach me this industry, and I got very successful at it. So when my opportunity came to go ahead and invest in them, I did so. So we get ready to take another commercial break real quick, and then we're going to come back with our guest, Toya Tillett. So welcome, and thank you for listening to Real Men in Real Estate.